So it's currently 8:30 in the morning. I just drove to get my hair appointment done. But today's trade with me, we're gonna see if I can make my hair money back in one trading day. So it's 8:30. I usually trade at 9:30. So while my hair is getting done, I'll be trading. I probably won't like take pictures and stuff in there just to be courteous of her, but I'll record myself trading. When we're done, we're gonna tally up the total that my hair costs and see if I made more than my hair appointment cost, because technically if I make more than what my hair appointment costs, it was free. So I'm about to walk in there because technically I'm like, it's time now. And I will see you all when I start trading, and then again when we talk about how much I spent and how much I made. I truly hope for your sake you enjoy hearing me talk, because that's what you're gonna get. So at market open at 9:30, we had some strong bearish pressure coming in. Not saying that I wanted to take sells, but you know, we want to follow the trend. We want to go with the trend is showing me. I was watching to see if we have a supply zone and then a reaction off of that supply zone. That would be my ideal scenario, just because of the bearish pressure that we saw coming in. So what I was looking for was a touch, which we just got that touch. So now I'm waiting for us to break, and then I would take a sell on that break. We broke below it, so I got in for sells. I was targeting 25 ticks, and that trade played out in a span of a couple of seconds. I was risking $2,000 to make $2,000. So technically at this point, I had already been up my hair money. I was already in a good standing to say, okay, I could stop trading. I've already made $2,000 for the day. But do you think I walked away? Do you think I was like, oh, let me just, stop trading? I did not. I said, okay, 2,000, let's have some fun. Let's make some extra money. So I sat on the chart and waited for more trades. So you can see me here sitting and waiting for another setup to form. We still have that bearish pressure coming in. But I'm just waiting to see if I can get another sell, or if bullish pressure comes in and I can get a buy. So at this point, we had another supply zone form, and I was willing to take sells off of that supply zone, being that we were in the downtrend. I'm like, okay, let's take sells if the setup presents itself for me to be able to get into a sell. We had a rejection candle form there. I was waiting for the break. We hadn't got a break yet, so I'm like sitting on my hands like, okay, well, we didn't break it, so maybe the bullish pressure is coming in. I think this was that moment where I was like, maybe we're not going down, we're going to continue up. My zone was still valid, so I was okay with taking sells if they presented themselves. So looking for a break here to the downside or to the upside for me to take a buy or a sell. We got that break to the downside. I got in for a sell, and I got stopped out almost immediately. You need to see me in my hairdresser's chair. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. That's not good at all. Now I'm patiently waiting. At this point, I basically break even on the day. I made 2,000, and then I just lost 2,000 on that trade. So I'm like, okay, let's make the third trade count. The third trade needs to count, because I didn't walk away on the first trade. I lost that money, and now I still want my hair appointment to be free. So I tried this zone again for a sell, same zone. And I will say that's a little bit of breaking my rules right there, because usually I don't try the same zone twice. I used the exact same zone I used before, and I got stopped out again. So now, instead of me being up on the day, I am down $2,000. I went from being up $2,000 to down $2,000. So I'm like, okay, this is not going the way that I wanted it to go. This is not going the way that I would like it to go. I'm still holding on to my bearish bias. It's interesting because after I got stopped out, we did have them strong sell candles or strong bearish candles form. So I'm still willing to take sells, okay? I got in here for a sell twice. So right here, I entered for a sell. You can see I doubled up because you see the two green lines on both sides. That means I had two positions in. I was risking $4,000 to make $4,000. I got so close to my take profit and didn't take me out. I think at this point I was kind of like shaking in my boots and getting upset, but it did finally hit my take profit. And this brought me up 2,000 on the day. So I was down 2,000 on the day, and then I just made 4,000. So that put me up 2,000 on the day. You would think at this point I would be done. You would think I would say, okay, well, you went through a lot. Let's call it a day. But I, in fact, did not do that. I, in fact, continued to trade, all while getting my hair done. All of this is being done while I'm sitting in the chair. So we had a tap of another supply zone, waiting for a break. I was still following my strategy, y'all. Even though I may have been a little bit impulsive, I was still following my strategy. All of these setups followed my strategy. Should I have taken this many trades? Probably not. But I was following the rules. I was. So then we had a break for a sell. I got in. We had those two rejection candles at that supply zone, and I hit my take profit, and that was another $2,000 worth of profit, which resulted in me being up $4,000 on the day. So I just got done with my hair. It is currently 6:48, if you could see there. 6:48, my hair just got done. I paid around $400 to get my hair braided. I think I made like 3,000 something today, but I will not lie. I have to still check. So I'm gonna drive home because sun is starting to set early and I don't want to be like on the road late at night. I'm gonna drive home, and then when I get home, we are going to look at my actual total balance on my laptop and compare it to how much I paid. Obviously, I know I made significantly more than I paid to get my hair done, but we're gonna look and we're gonna compare those numbers together. So I will see you all when I get home. So it's the next day. By the time I got home, the sun was down and I was tired. I had sat in that chair all day. I did not want to talk about money. So we're gonna do a recap today of how much we spent and how much I made. So I'm looking at my stats on my laptop, but according to my stats, I made $3,865. That was before commissions and fees. I paid $552.96 in commissions and fees. And that left my total P&L that I was able to walk away with at $3,312.04. It says I took 18 trades, but I didn't actually take 18 trades. But sometimes like you get partialed in and out of a trade, or sometimes all of your orders don't fill at the same place. So it'll count that as an additional trade. But I did not take 18 trades. I also didn't do 192 contracts. I will say, like I've said in my previous videos, it counts when you enter the trade and it counts when you exit the trade as a contract. So I probably did like half of those amount of contracts that they're saying that I actually did. My average trade time was 16 seconds, and the longest trade that I was in was 28 seconds. As far as my win rate on the day, I had a 72% win rate. Basically, the series went, I won my first trade, then I lost 2 trades back to back, and then I won 3 trades after that. So ultimately, I ended up taking around 6 trades, but 4 of them were winners, and then 2 of them were losers. So as far as how much I paid for my hair appointment, I paid $400 with tip and deposit. I did get a question in some of my other videos. People were asking, like, do I get to keep all of it, or do I have to pay taxes? You have to pay taxes on this income. This is not tax-free income. And so anytime I do make money, especially when I withdraw it, I do set aside some of that for taxes because I do have to pay taxes. So yes, I made $3,312, but I do set aside a portion of that for taxes. So let's say I set aside 30% for taxes. How much you set aside for taxes is depending on which tax bracket you fall in, depending on how much you write off. It depends on a lot of things. But let's just say that I set aside 30% of my income for taxes. I made $3,312 yesterday, and 30% of that would be $993.60. If I were to subtract how much I would set aside for taxes, that would leave me with $2,318. And then if I subtract my hair appointment from that, which was $400 left over, I have $1,918 left after paying for my hair appointment. So we can say safely that my hair appointment in essence was free, and I had a little bit left over if I wanted to do something. I sat in that chair for so long, y'all. By the time I was done, the sun was about to set and I did not want to do anything. But today I have $1,000 that I can really go have fun with. But that is the one thing that I do love about trading. I can use a skill, leverage my income, I make money, which makes a lot of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis feel free because I didn't have to go out and work to do them. Am I saying trading is an easy job? Absolutely not. Trading is one of the hardest ways to make easy money, but it is worth it, in my opinion. It is worth it once you do master the skill because it allows you to live a pretty comfortable life. But that's all for this trade with me video. I truly hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next week for my next trade with me vlog. Bye.